Hey, everybody, welcome to FM 2.0 Conversations, where we talk to great artists about their music. And we got another great one here. I'm here with Dean Baldwin, as always, from SiriusXM. We're here on FM 2.0, and we have McKenna Michels here. How are you, McKenna?
I'm doing well. Thank you so much for having me.
Where are you right now, like geographically?
I am at home. I'm in Austin, Texas.
Austin, Texas?
It's nice to be home. We've been on the road for a while, so glad to get some alone time in my space with my piano.
Oh, are you inspired to write something new?
Yeah, I've been going through some stuff, and this is my great grandma's piano, and I always feel most connected to music when I'm playing it, because this is the piano I played my whole life. Pretty much anytime I was at her house, I would be on that piano. So
I truly believe, we interviewed Ronnie James Dio's widow, and we were talking about, like, he had a horn. He played horn a lot when he was younger, and there's still this thing about the spirits. I still believe that a spirit of a person can be within an instrument or an object. And I think that, you said your great grandmother, was it?
Yeah, she passed away about a year ago.
Wow.
So I got to grow up with her, and I was lucky to know her well into my mid-20s, so I remember her.
That's unbelievable. That's incredible.
She was an amazing woman. She was 99. A Great Depression survivor, and also a musician. She competed in opera, I believe, in the late 1930s, and was really good at it. I remember hearing her sing growing up. We'd go to like USC football games, and we'd stand up and sing the national anthem, and she would just have this beautiful lyrical soprano voice, and it was a huge inspiration for me starting music growing up.
Oh, that's incredible. Well, here, so I've got clips of music. We're going to obviously end off with I Don't Know, because, where'd she go? You there?
Oh, yeah.
You left for a second.
Is it good?
Yeah, you were back, yeah. I don't know, you left for a minute. I'm going to play I Don't Know at the end here, but there's some other tracks that I wanted to highlight because I think you did a phenomenal job. First thing I want to say, too, is your videos, you really do an amazing job of putting effort into your videos.
Thank you.
Which in today's world, you don't see people really do. You've gone almost above and beyond MTV in the way you do a music video. No, I'm serious. Dean, I'm going to play a clip of Born to Die. Now, she's laughing. But what I love about it is it's all like a tribute. We're coming up on Halloween. There's a lot of references to the witch trials and Salem, and this is unbelievable, this video. So let me play a clip of this, and we'll continue the discussion. Here we go.
Strap me to the table. It's time to begin. Inject me with your needle. I won't repent of my sin. Strap me to the table. It's time to begin. Inject me with your needle. I won't repent of my sin. He had it coming, baby. He had it coming, baby. He had it coming, baby. You hear me? I'll come back for you. I'll come back for all of you. If you had seen the things that I have seen, you'd be here now.
Incredible.
I haven't watched that in so long.
It's incredible, though. I mean,
thank you.
When you think about that, so what did you have a fascination with that time period of what was going on there? Because when you think about the witch trials or just that in general, like how people were so prejudiced, it's almost like a tie-in today. I know a band, Rush, had a song about witch hunt, which is all about the judgment of people that were considered witches.
Yeah.
It's this over prejudice thing that wasn't even real.
Oh my gosh, so that video specifically is in the mid 1700s, which by that time the witch trials were over. Like the witch trials were going on mostly in the 1600s, and I think the latest known one was early 1700s. But we thought it would be so interesting of like, okay, this mindset by this time period is outdated. But basically what happens in the video is this husband of mine has an affair, and he goes to these dark priest men, and they're like, the only way that you can get out of this is if you try her as a witch. And the husband's like, would that even work anymore? And they're like, yeah, we're gonna find out. So I think I've always had a fascination with that time period. My passion for the way that I dress and everything started with Phantom of the Opera. That was my first musical love, my first love of anything. I have seen the 2004 Phantom of the Opera movie probably 7,000 times. And I decided when I was 7 years old, I was like, I have to be able to sing like Christine Daae one day, if not just to be able to dress like her. And that's early 1800s. But then after that, around that same time period, the movies that were coming out were Pirates of the Caribbean, and Keira Knightley's outfits in Pirates of the Caribbean changed my whole life. And later on, I discovered real opera. Phantom of the Opera is a musical with an operatic singing style, but true opera, and the stage presence that they have, the theatricalness, the costuming, the acting of the way that they move on stage, because most of the time people don't speak Italian or German or French when they're watching it in the United States. So they have to be super extravagant. And that inspired me so much. And so what we decided to do is I took this love of that fashion, told it to my manager. He was all on board. He's like, you know what, go for it. I think this is a good idea. It's authentic. It's true to your branding. And then Halsey came out with "If I Can't Have Love, I Want Power," which is everything that we had been planning to do. The fashion, the story, the cinematic darkness of it.
Was she listening in your conference?
She must have been. I believe in the zeitgeist. I really do. I really do. But then we were like, okay, we need to pivot, but maintain the authenticity. How do we do this? And my manager's like, well, you're also a huge comic nerd, right? And I've been cosplaying and going to anime conventions since I was 13. So yes. And we're like, what if we make a comic book? And so in my universe, the person that you see in those music videos is a fictional character. So within the own universe of my music, I'm not real. I am a fictional character that's created by this 26-year-old girl. She's a real person. Her name's Michelle. She lives in Austin. She had a stroke when she was 5 weeks old and has cerebral palsy and epilepsy. And what she does in real life to deal with that medical trauma is she draws. So we were like, this would be really fun to tie in what I love, but also making it a story that's deeper than just my own and the music that I write, but becomes this universe that this broken woman is using to feel safe in the world. And that's how we get music videos like Born to Die. It's the imagination of Michelle, where like in reality, I came up with that idea. In the universe, Michelle is coming up with that idea and giving her character a tragic backstory so that the rest of the stuff that I do the rest of my career can go anywhere. If Michelle wants me to be a pirate in space, I can be a pirate in space, you know?
Yeah. So. It's funny how you just gave me a segue, an amazing segue. You did. I'm going to play this right now because it's a perfect tie-in. Here we go. Watch this. It's a couple of tracks here combined, but you'll get it. I think it ties it nicely. Here we go.
You came into my life like an atom bomb. Believe it or not, it wasn't planned at all. Every time we touch, those alarms go off. You taught my heart to love. You came into my life like an atom bomb. Believe it or not, it wasn't planned at all. Every time we touch, those alarms go off. You taught my heart to love again. You taught my heart to love again. If I was to ask you for your love, would it ever be enough? Would you understand or try to let me in? When I asked if you were mine, I put my heart out on the line, and you didn't even care when I said, do you hear me? Do you need me? Do you want me? Tell me, love, what is it that you feel for me? Tell me now, 'cause I feel so lonely in your company. You're out of reach. You're out of reach.
Incredible.
So that is the real Michelle in those videos.
Right.
I was wondering.
She was a sport in filming those. She has a little bit of trouble doing things like that. Oh, am I back? Am I good?
You're back. You're back. Yeah.
Okay. Anxiety is a huge trigger for her with seizures. And so we had to be really careful. She's also asthmatic. So things like the fog and ambiance in the room that can help make a film look better are dangerous to her. And so we had to be like extra careful with a lot of things, and also spacing out filming. Whereas like when we did Born to Die, we did that in a 48-hour period, the whole thing. For her, she wouldn't be able to do something like that. And we were really, really careful to make sure that her needs were met while also portraying the story. And she loved it. And yeah, so she's amazing.
I'm curious, you're continuing on a very creative path. So as I listen to the music, there's areas there where I can connect it to artists like Kate Bush or Emily Autumn. I'm not sure. Who did you?
Thank you.
Well, who are some of your influences?
Wow. Well, Kate Bush, of course. I love Kate Bush. Florence and the Machine is a massive inspiration for me. Lady Gaga, Adele. I love MUSE. My music does not sound like MUSE, but their stage presence, their performance, the way that he interacts with fans on stage.
Matt Bellamy's got a great stage presence.
So amazing. Probably the best concert I've ever been to. I went
Same here. Yeah.
2 years ago now when they were in Austin. Oh my God.
I caught them when they opened up for U2, and honestly, they stole the stage. They stole it.
Yeah, they are spectacular. And their music like changed my life. Knights of Cedonia, playing Knights of Cedonia on Guitar Hero 3 when I was like 9 years old changed my world. That song is incredible.
Wasn't that your song too that brought you into MUSE? Was Knights of Cedonia? I thought that was
I think it was. In fact, it was one of these weird moments. Like my daughters were playing it and I was asleep on the couch. And have you ever been like in a half sleep state and a song plays in the background and it like infiltrates your dream, where it just creates like a really weird vibe? Well, that was Knights of Cedonia was playing while I was in this half sleep state, and it created a very surreal. So yeah, that may have been what really pulled me in.
It is so perfectly orchestrated. The harmonies, the way they mimic the horse beats, like the hoofs with the drums, the ambiance that they set in there it's crazy. It is so well done. It is probably my favorite production I've ever heard in a song. Just all the layering and lyrics, and it's gorgeous. Love that song.
Yeah, some of the videos, like I was thinking like Kate Bush's Babushka, the theatrics of it, very cool.
Wow, that's a huge compliment. That is, wow, thank you.
Well,
well, that's the thing is when I was watching you, when you're talking about how she would create or draw, and I love how you tied in the beginning of her. She creates a warrior to fight her fights, and it's just, but even somebody that doesn't have physical challenges or disabilities, even just everyday, especially women who have been through traumatic experiences, domestic violence and things, it's creating that persona to fight, and to be that exterior thing, to put the wall up right? And that song is really, or that little segue there of coming in like an atom bomb, like wrecking havoc on my life, if you will, and then out of reach, and then coming and just building on that. It's really just a powerful thing you were doing, taking an idea and it can be used all across the landscape. It's that good of a theme. So
Thank you. I'm very open on my platform about healing. That is the biggest thing that I want for people. I personally am autistic, and I also have been through an abusive situation in my childhood. I was taken away from my mom when I was 15. We're on good terms now, but it took 10 years of not speaking to get there, and I feel fortunate that I can have her in my life again. But I approach my music and my storytelling from a way that empathizes with people who can't and can never have that situation where they could talk to their abuser again or have a good relationship again. And her, she is very unique because a lot of the things she did were coming from her own brokenness and her own hurt. And watching her take that and become who she's always been meant to be and be a great person and a loving person and a giving person has been amazing for me and has healed a part of my inner child. But it took a lot of time of me having to be my own warrior, writing my music to get those things out, to I have that song Ghost that you were playing in the beginning when I came in. That song was about her and about the 5 stages of grief attached to losing someone that profound in your life. And basically that blame that you carry as someone who's been a victim, that guilt and that shame of, oh, I'm ruining this person's life by saving myself, and feeling those things. It's really normal. It's really normal. And especially as someone that's on the spectrum, not already having proper emotional regulation because of the way my brain is wired, and having to function through that and being able to put it into words musically has saved my life, honestly. So I want to give that back to people, and whether it's Michelle or someone that I've never met yet, I want them to feel that realness of that they're not alone, that someone sees them, even if it's from afar, and that they can get through something, whether it's by creating a fictional warrior or by writing music or by just getting up out of bed every day, because that's really like the people to me that are heroes are the people that can look at themselves and go, I am going to try. I'm going to try.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Incredible stuff there, McKenna. I'm telling you. Yeah, I'm going to play a little bit of Ghost only because I want people to hear your voice in this. And then we're going to talk about I Don't Know to close it.
Sounds good.
But your voice is just so unbelievable. It's from a Tiny Desk section. And I think that's what really is amazing to me. It's not like you're in a studio doing take after take. This is just you out there raw, and you do this.
And I can see your ghost haunting every room, and I can hear your voice, smell your sweet perfume, you're singing singing as I walk.
Oh my goodness gracious, what a voice you have.
Beautiful.
Oh,
that's beautiful.
That recording always makes me kind of emotional. The pianist there is Dave Madden. He's an Austin treasure. Truly an honor to work with him in any capacity. And I feel like before that, I had played that song either by myself or with accompanists, and it was real. It wasn't the same that Dave was able to capture. Dave mirrored my emotions with the instrument, and it was so. I remember walking out of that session, going and listening to it in the other room, and going, "Oh my God, I'm so sad."
Yeah.
Why have I done this to myself? But it's such a cool thing to be able to look at that time period in my life. When I wrote that song, I was 19. It was probably the third song I had ever written in my entire repertoire at that time, but it needed to be there. It needed to come out, and I don't think I would be here or be able to write without that song.
It's, I mean, you feel it. That's the thing, is you portray it, and it hits at all levels of emotion, and hats off to you. That's just incredible. So you have an EP on the way, Revolution, and that is set for release early 2025. Right?
Yeah, we're thinking probably it's going to be the spring.
So the one track I'm allowed to talk about and feature is I Don't Know. And you've got an incredible video for it, just from a live performance footage that was taken. But I think it's important. There's some clips in here I wanted to play to highlight this song. This will be a part of the EP. How many songs are on your EP?
We have 5 right now. We're considering recording like a part 2 to the EP. I have a lot of songs written and ready to go, so we'll see.
Well, then that turns into an album.
I'm not opposed. To that.
An LP. We get 2 EPs into an LP. There you go. So now, is this going to be a concept EP? You know what I mean by concept? I mean, like there's one theme throughout the 5 songs.
So the big one on this, I can talk about the songs. I'm allowed to talk about the songs because I play them live and I tell the stories live. The major concept throughout is autism, as well as continuing to heal from my childhood. But 2 of the songs specifically really target discussing autism. There's Never Satisfied, which is about basically what it's like to have to battle your brain every day and put on this, like, oh, everything's fine. And that kind of masking, which is what the other song that I'm about to talk about is about. But and it's a song that has heavy lyrical content, but it's portrayed in this more upbeat, fun way. And part of that is because masking as an autistic individual is putting out what society wants to see to be able to expect you, or accept you. Sorry, put out what society wants to see to be able to accept you. And I feel like people in general do that to an extent, but autistic people do it as a survival mechanism. And a lot of anxiety comes with that, where after masking for long enough, you can and probably will forget who you are. And a lot of high masking autistic individuals over a long period of time, whether they were diagnosed later in life or they just are in a situation where they have to constantly mask, can get physically ill. Like the anxiety and suppression of self after a long amount of time can cause physical ailments for them. And so I'm kind of writing from that perspective of, here's how I really feel, but the music sounds happy, so it's more digestible for you, which is what I'm doing in my everyday life. Queen of Venom continues on masking. And I reached this point in the pandemic where I was officially diagnosed as an adult. But I kind of knew as a kid. I think that I've always felt distant from my peers, and like I didn't quite fit in. And I always had really extreme hyperfixations. I was really particular about a lot of things. A lot of my tantrums as a child were not based around not getting what I wanted, but generally about being overwhelmed and being anxious. And so Queen of Venom is this song, basically me talking to myself, that masked counterpart of myself that's so damaging to me and my identity as a person, and telling it to go away, pretty much, and taking back my control over myself, my identity, my brain, my feelings, and kind of going, okay, I'm autistic. If people don't accept me for that, then that's a reflection of them and not of me, which previously I felt the opposite. Monster is about going through a situation with somebody that is making you so angry, but not necessarily because they're doing anything particularly wrong, but they're frustrating to look at because they're a reflection of who you used to be and no longer wish to be, and want to move past it. And you're trying to bargain with them and basically tell them, like, I know what you're feeling. I've been in your shoes. Stop it. Just stop, you know? And sometimes they can't, and sometimes they can. And but that anger that comes with that, of getting frustrated with someone because they have reflections of who you were, or pieces of yourself that you don't necessarily like even still.
Right.
No One Else is a song basically bargaining with somebody that is no longer in your life, that things you wish you would have said to them, to confront them, to tell them everything that's been in your brain, to basically say, like, you would rather hurt me than fix yourself. And that is a statement against you, you know, and processing those feelings. So that is what that song is about. And finally, I Don't Know, which is already out, is an interesting song. It is probably surprisingly the most directly personal song on that album, as in it is based off of I mean, everything is based off of a situation, but that one is a very specific situation. When about 3 years ago, I was in a relationship and I left to go to LA to film a music video, and it was falling apart before then, but then it completely disintegrated when I touched down in LA. Never heard from him again. And I still had to, you know, go do my job, which I feel like a lot of people can relate to. If you're going through something, no matter what it is, that's difficult, and you still have to get up and you have to go perform. And for me, literally in front of a camera, go perform. Luckily, the song was an angry song, so it worked in my favor. But basically, got to the end of that week, and on that Friday, I had a photo shoot. And I met somebody else in that photo shoot that I was really into. And I was like, I should not be talking to you, but I really like you. And talking about pursuing that with that knowledge that, oh, I might be rebounding this person. I don't know. I don't know how to trust to be in a relationship again, because I literally was just in one that ended. But also kind of empowering in a way of giving myself a voice in that. You know, that song was, I went home after meeting this person and I wrote that song not even like 3 days later. Kind of that vocalizing my internal thought process about this situation and about that like initial spark with that person. And also the self-doubt that comes with having been in an abusive situation previously, like overcoming that self-doubt enough to be able to pursue that. So that is what that song's about.
That's incredible. Wow. So yeah, there's definitely then a theme throughout.
Yeah.
And it makes it even more exciting when you know that the artist has this whole visual in there. So thank you for explaining that. But I'm going to now play a little bit of I Don't Know. Do you have to go right now? I don't know if you have another interview lined up.
I'm okay. I'm good. I'm okay for right now.
Okay,
yeah.
So let me play this right here. This is a clip from I Don't Know. I love this song.
So I can love again. And when I finally fall with hesitation in your arms, will it only leave? So I can love again.
was a little bit disjointed there. I hit the button at the bottom, but the point was is that I love that part. What's echoing right now? I hear like an echo going on.
Yeah, I'm hearing an echo.
Where's that coming from? Hello, hello, hello. Oh man, what's causing that? Do you hear it?
I can hear you guys. Yeah.
Do you hear an echo there when I talk?
I do.
Oh, I know why. I think. Hold on a second. Let me just check something here. I want to make sure. Like, let's see. Look where that echo's coming from. Because I can hear it coming through my headphones.
Oh.
Weird. Anyway, what I wanted to talk about was that your bridge there, right? Going into the bridge, and then there's a little symphony going on, brrr, right? It was so clever to build that bridge into that little drum roll in there, and then it's just this kind of floating thing in the bridge. Bridges sometimes take you on different journeys. That one just makes you float.
Thank you.
That's what I love about how you did the bridge there.
My producer, John Mook, he is a master at, I think he really understands the way that my brain works and the inside of my brain. So I will give him these songs. Like I have the melody written, the lyrics all written. I'll record on a BPM and just let him do whatever he wants because I know he gets me. And so I'll send him these vocal tracks with these vocal things like you're talking about where the bridge goes like really floaty. And I think that bridge specifically is kind of sometimes what it's like to have a mental breakdown where it's really quiet and really personal. And you can hear it in the lyrics where I just like slowly start talking faster and spiraling out of control before finally I'm like, I don't know, you know? And he really captured that beautifully, especially with the drums. I agree with you.
Yeah, that's the thing is the magic that happens when you're putting a recording together. And it does emphasize too, a lot of people don't value the real importance that a good producer engineers have in a recording because they'll take you as the artist and you don't think of some of the other things that could go in to make it even more, higher level. And in this case, like you just said, he was able to take it and take it another level up and make it extraordinary. That that's just a great song all the way around. And I'm telling you, I've been floored and then hearing you talk about the songs as an artist, it just really makes me excited for where you're headed. I can't wait for the EP to come out.
Thank you.
And, man, I'm blown away by you. Really am.
We have a lot of good comic books coming out with the EP too. A lot of great music videos to continue the Michelle story. So I'm really excited about it too.
That's a genius idea. You're putting a comic book with your album?
Yes. So the first album, Enlightenment, the song Survivor has a comic book that goes with it. And then we're continuing that story through Monster, which is the one I was telling you about being angry. And there's a huge cinematic music video that goes with that as well. Similar to Born to Die, but like I would even elevate it a level up from there. Nick Peterson has directed pretty much every music video I've done, except for on the early EP, the two that were with that he did not do. But we have this just ongoing story together that he has just continued to elevate and is amazing at visual storytelling. And then the third comic book and music video will be for Queen of Venom, which is the song about masking and telling the mask it's time to come off, pretty much. Very, very excited to show the fans what's going on.
That's awesome. What a great idea.
Thank you.
You're giving people an experience with it, because that's the thing that's happened is the tangible thing of music, people have kind of lost, but when you give them artwork and comic book, and it just gives the experience back. I think that's a brilliant move on your part. So thank you so much for taking time out of your life to come here and talk about your music. I'm loving it, as you can tell.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And thank you guys again so much for having me and for letting me talk freely about my art. I really appreciate it.
No, it's
Absolutely.
important. We want
enjoyed
you
it.
to flourish. Yeah. We want you to flourish and achieve everything you wanted. So thank you. McKenna Michels, everybody.
Yes.
Have a good time. You're amazing. Keep that way.
You're amazing.
We're all amazing. Have a good night.
You too. Bye-bye.
The rest of your day, I should say. It's not night yet.
No, yeah. It's 1 o'clock-ish.
Yeah, it's 1 o'clock, so we got time yet.
We got time.
We got time.
Thank you guys so much.
All right. Our pleasure's ours. Thank you so
Yes.
much. Thanks, McKenna.